Hi there mga kabarnas, welcome again here in this channel.
Something good. Something good.
Hello, good day to each one of you. Again, this is Bonnie, your HRT queen. And for today's vlog, we have a very special episode because again, we are going to listen to the story and experience of our beloved and beautiful transgender all over the universe. So what are we waiting for? Prepare yourself and listen to our transgender women as they share their experience. Watch this.
Yesterday, a man identifying as a transgender woman decided to take advantage of the system and our own community by entering the women's bathroom at a Planet Fitness and starting to shave. I don't want to make being transgender a beauty contest. I'm very aware that I'm not the most passable trans woman in the world, but we need a line drawn in the sand somewhere so things like this don't continue happening. And I already know the woke side of the trans community is not going to like my resolution, but I think transmedicalism needs to be a thing. We need to implement it into law somehow. If you aren't aware of what transmedicalism is, it basically just means you need to have gender dysphoria to be trans. The woke crowd really loves to push this narrative that you don't even have to medically transition anymore to be considered transgender. And it makes it so we have people that don't transition at all, that have never touched hormones in their life, say they're women and enter women's spaces like the bathroom or women's gyms. And unfortunately, I just don't agree with that because it creates situations like the one we're talking about today. Someone that's actually dealing with gender dysphoria, like I was, is going to go out of their way to make a medical transition. Anyone else that doesn't deal with that, that's just identifying as trans, doesn't fall into this category. And I feel like legally speaking, for who can have access to women's only spaces, this is the way we can draw that line. And I already know people are going to be like, oh, how are you going to implement this into law? My license has said female since the beginning of my transition, right? What if we made it so you had to be on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, for a minimum of 1 to 2 years before your license can legally be changed? That way, their ID can prove whether or not they're a valid trans person. I already know a lot of you are going to tell me I'm crazy, but tell me this wouldn't perturb predatory men from taking advantage of the system. And it would also protect not only biological women, but also trans women. Like literally, this protects everybody.
When a kid tells you that they're transgender, believe them. A lot of people will say that it's impossible for a 4-year-old.
Why is it always people that don't have kids that are speaking for children? I'm trans and I've been a stepmother for the last 2 years. He's 5 now and has no idea that I'm transgender. He's not ready for that conversation and we don't plan to tell him for a very long time until he's old enough to understand. 5-year-olds believe Santa Claus exists. And the fact you can sit there and tell me a 3, 4, 5-year-old is mentally competent enough to transition is fucking insane and borderline predatory. I'm thankful I waited until I was an adult because as a child, I would not have been mentally ready for how serious a transition is. What baffles me is that these radicals think that transitions are so normal and not a big deal. My stepson, for example, loves pink and loves Barbies. And trust me, I'm all for breaking gender norms, but none of that means that he's trans. These people think children must medically transition to be validated, but they want grown men to be validated even without a transition whatsoever. Wild. It's not safe or morally ethical to allow children to transition. Let kids be kids.
If you asked me this question 2 years ago, I would have said yes. I would say yes, I do get a period as a transgender woman. But now that I've matured more and my brain has developed more, I've realized the answer is simply no. No, trans women do not get periods, babe. Let me explain why I used to think that I did have a period. So basically, many trans women, myself included, do hormone replacement therapy. So I take estrogen, which is the female hormone, on a daily basis. And we take estrogen for the side effects. You know, it gives you more breast tissue, more fat in your face. We take it for the feminizing side effects. And since we take all these female hormones, it kind of tricks our bodies into thinking that we have a female reproductive system when we don't. So with this, a lot of trans women will also get period-like side effects from the hormones. So you might get mood swings or appetite changes or abdominal cramps sometimes. And I used to see that as like my period, you know, when my hormones were out of whack. But really, it's just like a hormonal imbalance from the hormones, of course. And I don't know, I was just really at a point in my life that I just so desperately wish that I was born female that calling it my period just like felt so affirming and felt so euphoric for me. But over these past few years, I've really come to terms with the fact that, babe, I'm trans. It's okay. I'm fucking trans. And really just ever since I've come to terms with the fact that as a trans woman, there are just certain things that I will never be able to do. And coming to terms with the fact that I was not born female, like my mental health has improved so much. Like that's just the way it is. And I've accepted that. Oh, and another thing that helped change my perspective on this is getting bottom surgery. So I had a sex reassignment surgery. I have a vajayjay, but I do not have a uterus or ovaries. So I don't menstruate. I don't bleed, obviously. Like, babe, ever since having the surgery, I've just realized how high maintenance it is to have a cooter cat. Like, anyone who is not born female, you do not realize how easy you have it, babe. Like, it is so high maintenance. And I just can't imagine having like uterine cramps and bleeding like on top of all the shit that I already have to do with her. And I've heard all the horror stories of people who deal with like severe PCOS and all that stuff. So like to everyone who's born female and who does have to deal with that, kudos to you, bitch, because even my custom cooter cat be wearing me out sometimes. So yeah, I just wish everyone would stop arguing about this on the internet. To all my trans girls out there who are so adamant about having a period, I hope one day y'all realize that it's just simply not the truth. And it's okay. It's okay to realize that and to accept who we are. It's part of the trans experience. We're still women. Thanks for watching.
Hi, is this an okay time? I really hope it is because we haven't gotten to catch up in so long, but I missed you. How are you? I want to give you an update. So I'm in New York. And I think a lot of people think that I live in New York, but I live in LA, and I'm just visiting to see a bunch of Broadway show openings. I got to go to the opening of Lempicka the musical, Suffs, Stereophonic. I'm going to Cabaret tonight. I saw Oh Mary and The Notebook the musical. I get to see my friend Joe and Sweeney Todd. And I went to the Kristen Chenoweth concert and to Maggie Rogers concert. And my God, I've been in a lot of theaters this week. But I've never been happier. I can't even believe it. And I've had so many moments this week specifically. And I don't think I tell you this enough, but I am just like so grateful for you because I don't think that I would have been invited to any of these things if it weren't for you following me. And as like a little kid that loved theater my entire life, it's all I cared about. And I never thought that I'd go to like one Broadway opening night, let alone multiple in a week. And so I just wanted to say thank you. You are making a theater kid very happy. And I also think it's funny because over these past 2 years, I've tried so many different things and I'm going to keep trying a bunch of things. But what I've realized is like sometimes you have to try a bunch of things to realize that it was the thing that you loved first that you still love the most. And I wanted to thank you. And you all have to go see some theater. But otherwise, all is well here. I'm really happy. And I hope you are too. What's going on in your lives? And okay, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, love ya. Bye.
And there you have it. I hope you did learn from your experience and everything that you share about for today's episode. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I hope you would consider to like, subscribe, share this one to all of your friends, and don't you ever forget to leave a comment below. Have a blessed day. See you to the next one, and bye for now.